Over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. You hungry? I believe you just ate. Today I'll be presenting, and already you know I'm Gladys, right? I'm from Vaal University of Technology. I'll be presenting about A3. What comes to your mind when you hear the word A3? Paper. Wow. And paper, you might not be wrong because that's what came to my mind when I first hear about A3. Okay, but by the end of today, you'll be able to know what is A3, why are we talking about A3, and why are we using it, how does it work, and how will it help you in different institutions. Okay, so before I go into details about A3, I firstly want to tell you the real reason behind us having A3. Okay. We realized that in our departments or institutions, we're having a problem. Okay. Some of those problems, it can be that we are wasting resources. Okay. Your resources can be money, it can be time, it can be people. Do you get what I'm saying? So, after realizing that we have a problem, we needed to come up with a solution for our problem. And that solution is A3. Basically, A3 is a problem solving technique. Can you hear me? It's a problem solving technique that we use to basically understand the problem, the real problem, and eventually come up with a solution. That's A3. And like I've already said, that for us to have A3, there are other things that you should take into considerations and that we were using before we can realize that, you know what, we really need a real problem solving technique. Okay. Does anyone know what a continuous improvement is? Anyone? Continuous improvement? Okay. Basically, when you talk about continuous improvement in our institutions, we mean continuously improving our current processes. Are you following? Continuously improving our current processes. That's when A3 comes into the picture. We need A3 to improve our current processes. Okay. Have you heard about lean? Lean meat. So in this case, I'm not talking about meat. I'm talking about lean problem solving. You know, for example, with lean meat, we all know that if you want to lose weight, you just have to go lean, fat free, and stuff like that. So when you talk about lean problem solving, we basically talk about being able to solve the problem without wasting resources. Do you understand? We solve the problem, but we still save our resources. That's when A3 comes into the picture. You solve the problem, but you do not waste resources. And again, we have a Gemba walk. Have you heard about Gemba walk? Now, when you talk about Gemba walk, I'm going to explain a little more about it as we go on. But basically, a Gemba walk is where you go around finding the real problem. For example, if we have a problem wherein we need to create a system, basically most of the time our bosses will go talk to another boss in IT and say, hey, this is our problem and we need a solution. But the boss is not the one who is going to use that system. Someone is going to use the system, like administrator. So when you talk about Gemba walk is where you go to each and everyone who will be using the system and find out what is the real problem so that we can get to the real solution. It's basically going to different system administrators and say, hey, do you really need this? Okay, not only to the director. Remember, the director is not really going to use the system. You go to people who will use the system. That's what Gemba walk is. Okay, moving right forward. These are the examples of waste according to Lean, as I've already explained. We have defect, meaning poor product quality. We have transportation. Transportation, it can be in a manufacturing company, for example, for cars. Okay, there are different departments wherein in the first department they put engine and they take it to the second department, they put the full body and they take it to the third department and maybe they put wheels. So in that case, we are wasting time instead of having everything in one department. The next one is waiting. Waiting, basically, it can be that in this first department, wherein we put engine, you cannot put the engine before, you cannot put the full body without putting the engine. The engine part hinder the second step to happen. That is waiting, basically. And the second step, the following step is overproduction. Overproduction basically means that in car manufacturing, for example, you put unnecessary things that are going to waste your time. Okay. And then we have the inventory. The inventory works in a way that we keep stock, for example, in a warehouse, instead of ordering when it is in demand. We all know that having to store products in a warehouse is expensive. So we prefer to go lean by making an order when there is a demand, like a macro. You make orders for other products. If they are in demand, you don't find them in the shop. That's basically what inventory is all about. And motion, for example, here in UJ, they might have a server room situated in Billers 100, and then we have offices in another section. What can I say? I don't really know UJ that much, but wherever not closer to the server room, the technician will move around if there is a problem in the server room, instead of having a tool wherein you can manage the server remotely. Okay, so again we have extra processing. It's almost like overproduction. The only difference is that in extra processing you take more time trying to please the customer. For example, the customer says, I want 1, 2, 3, and you add 4, for example, that the customer didn't want, for you to try to please him or something. In that case, you're wasting time and resources. Okay. The last one is underutilized creativity. It happens mostly where we don't have enough skills, for example. Okay. Moving right along, reasons why we have A3. Reasons why we have A3. I've already stated that problems are the reasons. So in this case, you get to realize that problems are very important. They're like gold. If we didn't have problems, I don't know. Actually, we couldn't survive without problems. Okay? Because problems, they shouldn't be seen as a bad thing. Instead, they should be seen as an opportunity to improve our current processes. They should be seen as opportunity to improve our problem solving skills. Okay. Moving right along, the reasons continued. There are other problem solving skills excluding A3, like Six Sigma, we have Fishbone, we have, there are many, you can name them. Okay, but then why A3? A3, it's a very good problem solving skills. It is very generic. It's easier to use. It is a standardized tool. It forces you to be concrete, okay, to be straightforward. It helps you to be consistent. It's very reliable tool as compared to others. Okay. You can also use it to improve or document your project, tell a story of the kind of problems you experience and how you manage to solve them. Gain buy-in. For example, if you are in a sales business, it can help you to improve your sales. It guides your work, meaning you know what you're dealing with. And when you know what you're dealing with, eventually you'll have a good and a best solution. And again, it track your process. Your progress. For example, when you using a manual system, like filling up the forms, obviously it takes time and there are a lot of things involved. The forms can get lost, fire, and now that we have Fees Must Falls campaign, students are doing all sort of things. If you having a manual process, it's a problem. For example, in Vaal University of Technology, last month or 2 months back, there was a strike whereby students were burning buildings and some of the papers got burned. They didn't have backup. It was very chaotic. So if you're using a system, for example, to store your information, it is very good. It is advisable. Besides that, if you want to track your progress using the system, you'll be able to see the time when I was using a manual process, I was having this kind of issues or this amount of issues. And then now that I'm using the system, the issues number as compared to the previous have decreased. In that way, you can be able to track what is going on. Moving right along. How does A3 work? I'm sure you have an idea by now. A3 has 7 steps that guides you through the problem solution. Okay, the first step is background. The second one is a current condition. Then we have a goal, we have analysis, we have proposal, we have plan, and our follow-up. On the background, normally you need to know why you are talking about it, why you are talking about the current sorry about that. You need to ask yourself why you're talking about it. You need to know the business case. A business case is a formal documentation wherein you need to convince someone who's going to take the decision to implement what you came up with, to implement the solution. We have a current condition. On current condition, you need to ask yourself what is going on. And when you ask yourself what is going on, you must be very factual. You must use facts. And you must be visual. Use visuals like Pareto charts, pie charts, sketches, and others. Okay, I have 2 minutes. Let me quickly wrap up. I'll go to the next slide because I still have, oh my God, 23 of 11. I'm on slide number 11. So I'll move very quickly. As I've already explained the background, on the background, you need to know the business case, okay? Why we are addressing the issue. I'll be very quickly. On the problem, you need to know the current problems that are happening, the main issues actually. And then we have number 3, we have the current condition, like I've already explained. Analysis or root cause. Root cause, it's whereby you analyze the data that you have gathered. And after analyzing that data, it will help you to find the exact cause of the problem. By analyzing the root cause, when you analyze the root cause of the problem, there is a tool. There are actually a number of tools, but in Vaal University of Technology, we prefer 5 whys. 5 whys break down the cause of the problem until it is unbreakable. And I'm going to give you an example of 5 whys. An example can be like, I was stopped by traffic cops. Why? Because I was over speeding. Why? Because I was late for work. Why? Because I didn't hear my alarm. Why? The phone went off. Why? The battery was flat. Why? I forgot to charge it. Okay, do you get it? So that's when you ask 5 whys to eventually get to the foundation of the problem. We're on step number 5, propose solutions. What solution will solve the root cause? Normally, in Vaal University of Technology, we give at least 3 solutions to engage with our clients for them to be able to choose the one that will suit them, unlike giving them only one solution. The last but not least, the target. It's not really important, but it's important for you to know. And the last one is planning. It also not really important, but if you want to know it, it's fine. Okay, we end up on the solution. When you find the solution, that's where you stop. Okay. Closing. Now that you know what A3 is, how it will help you in your different institutions, how to use it, you can be able to tackle the problems that you come with, that you face in your different departments, to eventually come up with a solution in a very lean way. Okay. And I'll end here. Thank you very much. If you have any question, now that the time is not on our side, you can direct the questions via email. Thank you very much.